At 1:22 a.m. on June 24, 2021, 136 families were asleep in a Florida beachfront condo. 12 seconds later, 98 of them were gone. But here's what NIST's official investigation just verified. The pool deck collapsed more than 4 minutes before the building fell. For 4 minutes, the tower was already failing and nobody knew. This is Champlain Towers South. This is the full breakdown. Champlain Towers South was built in 1981 in Surfside, Florida, a quiet beachfront community just north of Miami Beach. 12 stories, 136 units, ocean views. For 40 years, families lived here, but NIST has now verified. From the beginning, there were problems. Construction deviated from original design plans. Some columns had short lap splices, meaning the steel reinforcement didn't overlap enough. The building was weaker than designed. In 2018, structural engineer Frank Morabito inspected the building for its 40-year recertification. His report used alarming language. Major structural damage to the concrete structural slab below the pool deck. He found waterproofing failures, cracking, and deterioration. The estimated repair cost, $9 million. The condo board received this official report. They debated. They delayed. For 3 years, families slept above failing concrete. The board discussed options, special assessments, repair timelines, resident complaints about costs. Meeting minutes show the debates dragged on for years. By 2021, the repair estimate had grown to over $15 million. Work was finally scheduled to begin. Roof repairs were actually underway. But for the pool deck and garage below, it was too late. The countdown had already ended. On the night of June 23rd, most residents were asleep, but some heard strange sounds. NIST interviewed survivors who described noises like knocking, hammering, or furniture being moved above them. One resident had photographed a crack in the parking garage ceiling earlier that day. At 1:22 a.m., the eastern portion of the building pancaked in approximately 12 seconds. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue launched one of the largest search operations in Florida history. For 14 days, crews worked through tropical weather, fires in the debris pile, and constant threat of further collapse. The remaining portion of the building was demolished on July 4th for safety. Only 3 people were pulled from the rubble alive. 98 bodies were eventually recovered. NIST's official investigation has now verified something critical. The pool deck failed before the building. Video evidence from a nearby building, enhanced by the FBI, shows debris in the parking garage, including planter boxes and patio furniture that had been on the pool deck before the tower collapsed. The timeline. Pool deck fails first, then more than 4 minutes later the building comes down. To understand what happened, NIST built full-scale replicas of building components at the University of Minnesota and University of Washington. They've conducted over 1,000 tests on concrete and rebar samples from the site. They found the concrete absorbed water faster than expected, accelerating corrosion of the steel inside. Some columns were built with short lap splices that didn't meet original design specifications. NIST has analyzed more than 300 potential failure points using 25 different hypotheses. They reviewed 20,000 records to understand the building's history. They received tens of thousands more documents from civil litigation. Lead investigator Judith Mitrani-Reiser said, "This tragic event has revealed flaws in our systems, and quality is at the heart of it." The $30+ million investigation continues. NIST compiled photographs and maintenance records showing visible cracks in the first floor slab in the months and years before collapse. The cracks were concentrated in the parking and pool deck areas, exactly where the failure initiated. Some residents had photographed water damage and cracking. Some had complained to the board. The warning signs were there. The building kept standing until it didn't. The verified timeline of failure. 1981, building constructed with deviations from design. 1996, first signs of waterproofing problems. 2018, engineer warns of major structural damage. 2019, 2020, 2021, board debates, delays, cost concerns. June 24th, 2021, 1:22 a.m. Pool deck fails. 4 minutes later, tower collapses. 98 people who trusted their home to protect them, gone. The civil litigation moved faster than any criminal investigation. In 2022, a $1.02 billion settlement was announced, the largest construction disaster settlement in American history. It has since grown to over $1.2 billion. Families received compensation from developers, engineers, contractors, and the condo association. But no criminal charges have been filed. Here's the official documentation. Florida responded with Senate Bill 4D, requiring milestone inspections for buildings 3 stories or higher. Buildings within 3 miles of the coast must now be inspected at 25 years and every 10 years after. Buildings further inland, 30 years. Condo associations must maintain reserve funds for structural repairs. 1.5 million condo units in Florida are affected. Surfside changed the law. NIST's technical work is expected to be completed by the end of 2025. The draft report for public comment is projected for spring 2026. The final report will include findings on the probable cause of collapse and recommendations for changes to building codes, standards, and practices nationwide. The investigation has cost over $30 million because getting this right matters for every building in America. Champlain Towers South was 40 years old when it collapsed. Engineers had warned of problems. Repairs were delayed. Construction deviated from design, and 98 people died while they slept. This is the 3rd investigation in our verified series. The Jet Set nightclub, 236 dead when a roof collapsed during a concert. The Hard Rock Hotel, GPS proved inspectors never showed up. The pattern is clear. Buildings fail when oversight fails. Subscribe for more official investigations.